Will your rent start to go down? I am not food. Will the rent start to go down? Are they going to lower the rent? You're like, why are you asking this question? Hell no, the rent's not going to go down. These greedy ninjas ain't going to lower the rent. Why would they lower the rent? Why? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they lower the rent? Just mess around. I hope so, but I doubt it. Now, here's the thing. You hope so, but you doubt it. Now let's talk about this because this is important. Because there has been mass exoduses from major cities, and one of the reasons why is because the rent has gone sky high. So let's do this. I saw an excerpt on World Star Hip Hop where they were talking about how the rent has gone up sky high, and they were saying that the rent is going to start falling. Now, the reason for this is, well, there's a few reasons. But this question has actually been proposed on the, regular internet. You can an article called The Week or a webpage called, and it says, when will American rent prices go down? The economy is cooling and the rental market is too. Now, a few things would have to happen for the rent to go down, but this whole article here is, I'm not going to read it, but it is very interesting because this conversation is, it's poignant and it's a numbers game. All right. So some of the reading reads, measured annually, rent growth remains positive. According to the most data sources, the journal reports. However, the prices of growth is decelerating. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. As in illustration of the slowdown in the growth, renters who had new leases paid a rent that was 3.5% lower in January. All right, so what they're saying is people are paying rent that is starting to decrease. They're starting to see a decrease in the demand on how much it costs. And it started in January of 2023. And they compared that to August of 2022. So in some places, yes, the rent is going down. The prediction is backed up by Yahoo Finance. So that's a thing, which predicts that the increase in inventory, a slowing economy, and a more attractive for sale market will help keep a lid on rent growth this year. some experts even predict that the slowdown will continue for as long as the Fed continues to slow down the economy to cool inflation. So that's really what it is. We got hit with inflation right after we got hit with COVID, and everything went through the roof. Now, because COVID is pretty much in the past, or at least the shutdowns from COVID is in the past, it could happen again. And we already are inflated. We don't know if we're going to continue to be inflated. But what is happening is America cannot keep up with the cost of inflation on a whole. There are constraints on whether it's Social Security. There's a threat of Social Security actually running out in 2030. So you have that. You have the military and their financial constraints, and some of the things that the military has cut back on as far as veterans being able to receive particular benefits and things going on. So there's been some cutbacks on some of the programs that they've done. And they're like, hey, the military owes like $28 million. Like, we're cutting back on some things. So when veterans like myself are in need of help with rent and stuff like that, they're like, we can't help you this time. So some of those programs have been slowed down on. So that's a thing. But the economy and the cost of inflation to the average person who makes 40 G's and under, and those who are under the poverty line, the cost of inflation will and has rendered people homeless. So there's a huge homeless problem, and what has happened in some states is they've all gone on to some kind of government program, and the government has been paying them a subsidy in order for them to pretty much stay in their condition, but to kind of say, okay, this is where you're going to stay. If you move from this condition or financial position, you're going to lose your subsidies. If you go out here, get a job, you're going to lose your subsidies. And if you lose your job, it's going to be hard for you to get these subsidies again. So we know the job market isn't promised to nobody. They don't care about us anymore. The careers are pretty much over. It's everybody for themselves. So when you see this, you go, well, you guys are sustaining me. I'm living on the street, but you're sustaining me. You give me food stamps, you give me health care, you give me $600-700 a month. If I go get a job, I lose all that, and I can easily lose my job. That's how I got here in the first place. You know what? I think I'll stay homeless. So that's where, this is all coming from. I'm in the transition of moving in my city, and it's hard. I don't know if you're still here. It says one person's here. But if you're still here, I'll comment on that. So just let me know if you're still here. But so that's pretty much where this conversation is. Will the rent go down in your city? Will the rent go down, period, anywhere? And if it's, okay, so you're in transition of moving in your city. Now you're talking about just moving down a block. You're talking about just moving into another neighborhood and so on and so forth. And you're saying it's hard because it's a good chance that you're working. I don't know what you make. I don't need to know what you make. But whatever is within your, you're looking at your finances going, I can't move to so-and-soville, because the price of rent there is, $500 more than where I live now. So let's do this. Where do you plan on moving? Not exactly pinpoint where it's at. How far is it from your spot? What are the amenities? Like, tell us more about why you want to move from where you're at. Like what's wrong with the spot you're at? Have you outgrown it? Have you taken on a girlfriend, wife, or you having a kid? Like why do you want to move? You got roaches, you want to get rid of them, you can't. Your landlord sucks, your apartment complex, there's gun violence. Like why do you want to leave where you're at? And the places that you're going, like what is the like what spot have you looked at? And you don't have to tell us like any exact number, but what is the financial constraint on moving to this place? Like how much does it cost for you to, or what is the difference? So if you're paying $1,200 now, and that place is, it's $500 more, to say it'll cost me $500 more in rent. That's what I'm saying. So it gives me, some more information. And I don't really have advice on this like that solid, because I've been in the same place for years. But I can only say what I would do, because I'm looking at the same situation. I'm looking at moving. Even though I have enough room, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't have a kid, nothing out, I'm not getting a dog. This place isn't bad, but I just think, there's some stuff I like about this place, because I'm a junker. So this place they're always throwing away something. So I'm really, I like that, because I make a couple dollars on the side. But what I think is going to happen to me is, I think my degree is going to kick in somewhere. And because I've been knocking on that door, and I think somebody's going to answer, I'm going to get a part-time job, and I'm going to slip into something, and I'm probably going to like it. And when that happens, my income's going to go up, about 30%. Once that happens, I think I'm going to go ahead and look for a quieter place to move, even though I will miss all the action that goes on here. Family, outgrown it. Yeah. Landlord sold the place. Oh, you have to leave. And the new landlord raised the rent. Okay. Which we would afford, but the place is too small. Okay, so a few things that I mentioned happened to you. Now, I was in a situation where I was just living in a college dorm, and I was paying $200 for the room, and it was a real crappy place to live. It really was, but I didn't have nowhere else to go. And the landlord said, "Hey, we bought this building. The rent's going up $500. This was 25 years ago or something." And I was like, "No, I can't live here." So yeah, I ended up, homeless. And I ended up moving with some friends until I was able to get on my feet. So I know that deal. Somebody comes in, raises the rent. You're like, "I'm not doing this." Also, the place that I actually moved into, the same thing happened, where the landlord actually went missing. He went missing, and the building was sold to the people who were renting from him, because they had a little bar downstairs, and that bar makes a lot of money. So what they did is they bought the whole building, and then they kicked me out. So there's that. So I feel you on that. And all I can say is move, go somewhere within your means. That's what I did. I lucked up on this. I found this place on Craigslist or something like that, and they were running a special, and boom, I got in on the special. I've been here ever since. So family, outgrown it. So you must have an add-on. You must got, a Bambito, little baby or two, which is cool. But, babies they cost money. So that is a reality. Babies need plenty of space. It is what it is. Yeah. So now we're looking at, and I'm not asking you what your finances are, but I'm asking you, What is your criteria? Like, what are you looking at and going, if I could find this, and this within this price, I'd be good. So what are you looking at? Yeah, 3 kids, 10, 7, 3. Yeah, you probably got what? 1 girl and 2 boys? So you got a nice little family going on there. 10, 7, 3. Yeah, yeah. 1 girl and 2 boys. Girls in the middle. Um, so you're probably, yeah, you need some space. You know, I was gonna say the girl's probably oldest now that I thought about it. Girl's the oldest. Now the girl's the oldest, she needs her own room. She's gonna start going through all her, her stuff. And that's gonna be a whirlwind. So yeah, you know, that's gonna be interesting. But it happens. You gotta go through that stuff. And she's gonna be trying to figure out, life. Her whole perspective is gonna broaden. And it just helps if she has a little elbow room, she has a little privacy to think her way through these things. So I get it. It is what it is. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, but see now, another thing: are your kids in the sports? Is your girl playing softball, soccer, football, basketball? Is she doing any of those, or is she a? And I don't really need to like know this. I'm just saying, is your kid like is she like a nerd, or is she like a sporty type of? Because if she's a sporty type of, that costs money. So now you're looking at, okay, my kids, like all of them, are in the sports, and track shoes and cheerleading uniforms and football pads, and that stuff costs money. And now we have to move because we're out. It's just getting cramped in here. Now you're looking at your paycheck, and you're not getting a raise anytime soon, and you're going, I might have to cut some things out. And then you're looking at the most demanding and most expensive thing, and you're going to be looking at your oldest daughter because she's more mature than anybody else, and you're going to say, listen, you ran track, you played basketball, you did a little volleyball or whatever. You know how everything is seasonal. You know what I'm saying? You look at the 4 seasons. When she played something for this, she did this, she did this, she did this. She loves all of it. But you might have to say, look, just next year, just 2 sports. Can you just help me? And I promise you, the year after that, you can play as many sports you want. But just next year, because we're moving, things are gonna get a little, what I'm saying? I promise you'll be okay. Just help me out a little bit. And she's probably gonna go, yeah, she's gonna be a little sad because her friends play all those sports. But she's probably gonna go, yeah, cool. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, hey, you can't do this. Then you might have to have that conversation. And you might have to have it with the rest of them too. But if it saves you $600 in 1 month, and I'm for real about that, because all the fees that they get off of these kids, they're always coming to you saying, hey, this, hey, that, hey, this. That stuff is not cheap. Track shoes are not cheap. The track outfits are not, it's just not cheap. pom poms and what the stuff is not cheap, and it's all a market, and they know, especially when it comes to kids, especially girls. Everything is marketed to the girl. We was having this conversation before. Like the girl, the adolescent female is constantly under siege when it comes to being marketed to. Everything on her, especially her face, is constantly market, 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 market. So when you're trying to balance, your checkbook, you're looking at what can you cut out, what can't you cut out. It's like, listen, do you want your own room? If you want your own room, we're gonna move. I'm gonna get you your own room, but soccer this year probably not gonna happen. Your feet have grown. You don't wear the same shoes. It's not gonna happen this year. Soccer fees, traveling back and forth. You know what I'm saying? You're going to doing, all the things you have to do. It costs gas to go to practice and that, and it all adds up. But when you really start tallying how much it costs, I mean, when you break it down to how much food she eats, I'm telling you, it is a colossal expense. You're just like, I had no idea I was paying this much just to have you participate in this sport. But when you really start looking at what you spent on just that one, I'm talking about gas and everything. Just break everything down to the piece of cheese that she ate, on her sandwich while she was at practice. Whatever you need to facilitate her practicing and playing in these sports. Just look at the cost. And when you start looking at that, you might have to hit her with the truth. Listen, I'll get you your own room. When we move, you're going to have your own room, but you might have to sacrifice, 2 sports this year. So you pick the sports that you want, and we'll take it from there. And she's going to be okay with it because she's going to have her own room. And that's just going to be that, So I'm just saying these are some of the things that, I would think about. And I'm not trying to tell you you're doing way better than I am. Way better than I am. So I am not the guy to come at you on some, hey, you gotta listen to the single guy with no. That is not what's happening. As somebody who played a lot of sports, there were just some things I could do at a certain time and some things I couldn't because of the expense of me constantly playing. And whenever I think back on that, I can only, look at somebody in your shoes and go, well, shoot, I bet if you cut out a sport, you'd be able to, you know what I'm saying? Hell, you'd be able to take that money and do something else with it that will boost your economy until you're up and running, and then get them back into something. That's what I'm saying. I'm using me as an example because of what happened in my life. That's what I'm saying. Are you the only one working in the house? Is the wife working? Does she work full-time, part-time? You got 2 car payments. You know what I mean? Are you looking at a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom? Stuff like that. How much more is it going to cost you? Are you taking the appliances with you? Is the place already furnished? You know what I mean? Do they have a refrigerator waiting on you? Just stuff. Just stuff. You gotta think. Just stuff. Are you taking a fridge with you? The last time I moved, I took the refrigerator and the stove. And the landlord who bought the building was like, that's mine. I was like, no, it isn't. You just bought this building. I've been living here for 10 years. This is mine. You kicked me out. You want me to leave? I'm taking the refrigerator and the stove. It's going to cost you. There's nothing they could do about it. And I took it. And then I took that refrigerator I got here, and they already had a refrigerator and stove. So I sold it. I sold the fridge and the stove. You know, I said, shoot, I'm going to make some money off of it. So there's that. But another thing is, I don't know where you live. That's your business. However, when you look at whatever city that you're in, or whatever major city that you're close to, or whatever state that you're in, you could probably look up this information to see if somewhere in your city the rent is going to start going down. Because I'm telling you, it is. It's going to start going down. These landlords are going to have to realize, they're going to come under the same realization that they were hit with when COVID came. Because when COVID came, people couldn't pay the rent. So landlords start having all of these deals just to keep you there. And then when COVID, was released, they were like, hey, you owe us a bunch of money. And then they shot the rent up sky high to try to make up the difference, right? So, they try to make up the difference, say, hey, all the money that we lost, we're trying to get back. Well, what they did was they strained the very people who were loyal to them. Now that everybody is like, okay, you raised the rent 40%, I'm leaving, I'm not doing it. Now you're going to be looking at, especially within the next 6 months, you're going to be looking at landlords who are going to do the exact opposite. It's going to start doing this again. I just want my jewelry to go down on the gold price. You just want your jewelry. You know what? I never even thought about talking about that. We do talk about metal here because I am I'm somebody who looks for pennies out in parking lots. But as far as, the price of gold, well, whenever I look at a mineral, I always look to the stock market. So right now, the price of metal has gone up. So you guys know I junk sometime to get a couple extra dollars. So I took a washer and dryer that I found. Some people left. I grabbed the washer and dryer, took it up to the junkyard, and I got, for the washer and dryer and a bike, they also left the bike out. For the washer and dryer and a bike, I got $65. So that was excellent. I did not expect to get that much. So what, was it 65? No, it was less than that. It was almost $50. But still, I was like, oh yeah, the price has gone up. So yeah, the price of metal is gone up. I don't know about the price of gold, but like I said, I would always refer to the stock market. The stock market tells you what the price of gold is doing. So if that's like a real concern of yours, especially if you have a lot of vintage jewelry and you're looking to trade it in or try to see how much it's worth, I would look up how much is the price of gold, which anybody could do. And then I would look at the stock market and say, what is gold doing? And then I might listen to a couple people talk about it so you can get a, perspective on how they analyze it and what gold, the value of gold is gonna, do, because, it vacillates, goes up and down, but I think the price of gold is constantly going up. So just on that topic, let's do this. Let's do this. You know you can trade gold too. You can trade futures. So, all right. Per troy ounce, per troy ounce, per troy ounce, US per troy ounce. All right, so here are your prices. Gold is at 2.004. Well, wait a minute. Let me see how I'm reading this. Because it looks like 2004 per troy ounce, but I don't think it's 2000. Palladium. Why would you need palladium? 1.5. Platinum, 1.0. Silver, 25.37. So, yeah, I'm definitely reading these wrong because I don't usually deal with metal. But I'm going to say, and I was, okay, let me look at this. Hold on. Let me go to the NASDAQ and see if I can get a, okay, so gold, this is Barrick Gold Corp. Okay, I'm on the NASDAQ, so hold on a second. Now, I'm in it now, but copper still, yes, copper will always be valuable. Know this. People will always want copper. Copper, the great conductor. People will always need copper. Always. Our pennies are made from copper. Our houses and, copper pipes, even though people use PVC, they may use PVC, but usually they use copper. Now, plumbers are not bending copper like they used to. So there is a vacillating cost with that. So if you're not bending, if you're not in the union and you don't get a job to go to somebody's house and you're not bending the copper and contorting it to what they need, what you're probably going to do is, if it needs to be at some type of 90 whatever degree angle, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to bend it to try to fit inside of a wall, bam, side of a wall, and then boom, to go downstairs, and you're, especially if it's sewage, all sewage goes down. So what they're probably going to do is they're not going to bend it, they're going to cut it. So they're going to cut that pipe, and then they're going to fit it with some type of joint, and that's going to make it do what they want to do. So they're just going to put a CV joint on it, and it's going to be just like this, boom, and it's going to be head downward. So that's what you're doing now. They're not cutting pipe as much as they used to. So, I'm sorry, they're not bending pipe as much as they used to. So there's a different cost on stuff there. So I just wanted to mention that. When you deal with appliances, you run across stuff like this. So if you're like, how do you know this? Because I deal with appliances, and I watch appliance videos, and appliances, plumbers, it goes pretty much hand in hand, because I have to deal with copper pipes sometimes, especially if you're going to put in a new compressor. I don't put in compressors. However, I know how to do it. I just don't do it because I don't have all the equipment to do it. Nonetheless, I still have to put Freon in a refrigerator every blue moon. The one I got downstairs, I had to put Freon in it. You have to do it through a copper pipe. You got your inflow, you got your outflow, you got your hot, or you got your warm side and your cool side. You have to know these things. And if I had to replace the compressor, I have to cut the compressor out. So I have to cut, both in and outs. That's 4 of them, and then boom, and put the new one in. ratchet it down, and solder all of those back to the fridge. You know what I mean? So you have to deal with copper when you're dealing with appliances, and this is why I know this stuff. I don't want to seem like a know-it-all, but that's something I know that they're doing. So gold. This is just a Barrick Gold Corp. All right. Well, looking at this graph, $19.65. That's the price of this. This is not telling me what I want. And hold on a second. Profile. I don't know if you guys look on the NASDAQ or if you guys look at the S&P, the 100, the 500. If I were you, I would do stuff like that. If you're interested in metals, I would definitely do that. Some of you guys are working. You have 401ks. A lot of your listen. A lot of 401ks, man, they're not. What you guys are doing with the 401ks is you're trusting somebody else with your money is what you're doing. Because we're not all financial, gurus. You're trusting somebody else with your money, and your 401k or your PERS or anything like that, it goes into an envelope with everybody else's 401k or everybody else's PERS, and then they put that on the stock market into some Vanguard account or something like that, and then they try to make 6-7% of it, back at the end of the year. And that's basically what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I would look into that if I were you guys. To just, I don't know. I would just learn more about it if I were you. Just trade courses. I would just look into it and learn more about it. Okay, let me do this. See if I can bring this up. It just helps to know. You know what I'm saying? It just helps to know. Also, if you guys are going to look at stocks and stuff like that, definitely look at anything that's a natural resource. Also, Bitcoin. I keep talking about Bitcoin because I made $100 off of Bitcoin within the last week. I made $100 off of it, and I know you're like $100 and a big deal. No, if I actually was a working man and I was constantly putting money on Bitcoin, if I had 10 grand on it, that $100 would have been somewhere like 2,000. It'd have probably been, it would have been somewhere like $2,000. So, that's something, all right, so I'm at yeah, I'm not getting the answer I want. I need I was trying to get to a chart, and I was trying to get to the, and then I was trying to put in gold. I was hoping it was going to tell me, but I don't see where I can just type in gold and it tells me what it's doing, but I can type in like Hess, the oil company that I've invested in, and it tells me what it's doing. But I know if I just type in gold on the NASDAQ, it's going to give me, see, it keeps coming up with Barrick Gold Corp. I don't know if that's gold itself. I don't know if that's the price of gold, but it's Barrick Gold Corp, and I don't know what they are. I think Barrick sees lower. Okay, so they are gold. Higher cost. Okay, so they represent gold. Right now, the cost is $20 for it was 1967. It went down today, but only 0.38. When you look at which is 34, within the last month, it has gone up 13%. So if you are somebody who's looking to invest in gold and you're looking at the short run, if you're looking at it like a growth stock, which I think it is a growth stock, if you're looking at it like that and you're going, I want to invest in gold for the next 5 years, then here's what it's done for the last 5 years. 49.35%, which means you would have got, if you put in $100, you would at least made $50. So yeah, if the price of gold is going up, what I'm saying, and the value of gold is going up. That's what I'm saying. So there is your long-winded answer. The value of gold is going up, and the stock in gold is going through the roof, especially in the last 5 years. So I don't know what you want to do with that information, but you guys want to invest in gold, the last month 13%, that's not bad. The last 6 months 34%. I mean, if you had $1,000 on it, you'd have made what, $340 within the last 6 months. So some of you guys who you got yourself $10,000, $20,000 that you want to put on a stock, you do the math from there. You just do the math from there and say, you know what, it's actually worth it. So for the long term, even for the short term, this stock is a great stock. As a matter of fact, I might give him $100 tomorrow, and just let it sit there for 5 years or so. Who cares? Because in 6 months, it's getting its money back. So this is in year to date 10%. You can't beat that. It took a dip. Oh yeah, it dipped down and went down 22%, 22 point. But the 5-year is just beautiful. So I don't know what the dip was for though. I don't know why it would dip like that, 22%. That's a dip. But nonetheless, in the long term, 5 years, 49.35. That's excellent. So it's $20 a share. You don't have to. If you're gonna buy shares of the stuff, you don't have to buy a whole share. But $20 a share, that's doable. $100, you got 4 shares. Of course, you can buy partial shares. You can just buy $1's worth and let that be the reason. Say, I'm just gonna invest $1 or $10 or $15 in this and just leave it there. I don't know if your kid is 2 years old. Say, I'm gonna leave this for my kid. About time your kid hits 18, 16 years. I don't know. I don't know. It's just the way, you put $10 in it a week in the same stock. You know what I'm saying? Do it like that, or or do the whole life insurance thing. But because they don't have any negatives when it comes to the stock market. So if you go through life insurance, they also put their money into the stock market. And I forgot how they do it, but they don't lose any money. So when the stock goes down, they don't lose any money. But there that is. But will your rent go down? The answer is maybe, depending on where you live. Now, of course, if your landlord is stubborn and or they're not really paying attention, or they just don't care, they're going to try to get the maximum amount out of you, of course, until it hits them, and then everybody moves out, and then they have to pay. They're going to have to cover that, and then they're going to have all kind of specials. If you are somebody who can hang on until the specials come, because they will come. North Carolina, a growing city. Well, you're in one of the most growing cities. And the reason why your city is growing so much, it's because of the rent. It's because it's cheaper to live there. Less traffic, even though now, it's starting to get ridiculous. But not as much violence, but y'all have y'all share. So yeah, there's that. But when you look at all the cities that people are leaving, and then all the cities that people are going to, let's look at some places people are leaving. California, Virginia, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. They're leaving these cities. Well, just the state of Pennsylvania, but they're leaving those major cities. I'm from Pittsburgh. I won't move back. And look at some of the places where people are going to. Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina. Yeah, the sun is nice. There's still some very rural places. It's a no-brainer. It's gonna grow. Of course, when it grows, rent will go up. Violence would definitely happen more. But you guys you're gonna get a lot of stragglers. You're gonna get a lot of people just looking to lay their head. Your wife has considered moving back to Pittsburgh. Okay, she's from Pittsburgh because the cost is a lot cheaper. Yeah, but where's your wife from in Pittsburgh? Where's she from? If you say something like Squirrel Hill, then I know, you know what I'm saying. What part of Braddock? Don't say the bottoms. Do not say Talbot Towers. Don't say the bottom. North Braddock? No, she ain't from. Come on. Rankin? Swissvale? Nah, she ain't. Duquesne? Nah, she ain't from Braddock, homie. What part of Braddock she from? Where's her spot at? Right off of Braddock Avenue? Where's her spot at? Yeah. What part of Braddock? Have you seen recent videos on Braddock? You tell your wife I'm from. Yeah, she's from North Braddock. Okay. I'm about to say she ain't from Braddock. She from North Braddock. There's a difference. There's a difference. I'm from the bottoms. I'm from Talbot Towers. So, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm in my 50s. So I'm from Talbot Towers. They tore that spot down. That's Braddock. Braddock Avenue, heading south towards the river. Keep going until you almost run into the river. Down where the steel mill. If you say, hey, I know a guy who used to live in Talbot Towers, and down there by the steel mill, she'll be like, yeah, I know where it's at. You know what I'm saying? I know where it's at. Yeah, because everybody knows the steel mill. I lived right next to it, so when the steel mill spewed out black dust, it would come down, look like snow, and all that dust would just fall on our heads, and it would make the ground black, so all the white snow would turn black. It's not a good place to live. They tore it down because the rats and roaches took it over. That's where I'm from. Yeah, she's from North Braddock. Yeah, that's cool. So she probably went to school. Shoot. Our schools was terrible, so I ended up going to school up in I went to Swissvale for a minute. And when I was in high school, I went to Churchill for a minute until I moved and I graduated from New Brighton. So yeah, she from my hometown. And yeah, big ups to the wife. That's what's up. Good old North Braddock. I done did a lot of walking around in North Braddock. She went to Woodland Hills. Then, yeah, Woodland Hills. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. She went to Woodland Hills. I went to Churchill. Played a little ball for Churchill. Did I play for Churchill? No, I didn't play for Churchill. I played for Swissvale. And then I played for New Brighton. And for a short while, I lived out in Bellevue. I played football for the Colts. So that's what's up. Tell the wife I said what's happening. Yeah. Good old Braddock. Not a spot you want to go back to. It is desolate. It is desolate. I wonder if she's ever been to Talbot Towers. But like I said, they tore it down. So yeah, no more Pittsburgh. The police, the violence. All I know is Pittsburgh got some athletes. Yeah. Yeah, no more Pittsburgh. See, I'm going to tell you something. Being that your wife is from Pittsburgh, that is the major draw for men, is to get a girl from Pittsburgh. Especially a good-looking hood chick. Got a little sass about her, but, ain't too nuts. You know what I'm saying? But, if she got to get with somebody, she will. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the big thing for us back then was dating somebody in Swissvale. Run around with some of them little chicks up there. But when you really had yourself somebody, they came from one of the black hoods. And some of the best ones came from Homewood. So Homewood, Wilkinsburg, anywhere down there in Lawrence Avenue, those were the girls to get. They're good looking, they're hood chicks, but they were stars. They were the hood chicks that you could take anywhere. And like you said, oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, they were the hood chicks that you could take anywhere. You can. I mean, they're just stunning. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't hood rats though. There's a difference between a hood rat and a hood chick. This is just a chick who lives in the hood. She knows the hood. It is what it is. And then there's a hood rat who you cannot take her nowhere. She cannot adjust. She's just ratchet, and that's her life. That's what she is. How has it been since you lived there? How long has it been, or how? I don't understand the question. And since I lived where? In Pittsburgh? I haven't lived in Pittsburgh in, oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, you're much welcome. How long since how long since I lived in Pittsburgh? I moved out of Pittsburgh when I was 19 years old. I joined the military. I never moved back. So I'm 55 now. I never moved back to Pittsburgh. Never moved back. There was just nothing there for me. And my whole family left Pittsburgh. It's just too crazy. It's just too crazy. But I would go back and visit. You know any popes from Aliquippa? No. No. I don't really rock with Aliquippa too tough. Aliquippa is where you go if you want to get your head knocked off. Aliquippa is different. Do I remember anyone there? Yeah, Dan Short. Dan Short played for Pitt. Yeah. He used to be one of my guardians. He took me to Quiptown once. When he took me up there, I saw Carl Rutledge. Yeah, but he took me to Quiptown once. We went to a party. I was like 15. I was just sitting in there, and some girl, she was sitting at the other table. She was just staring at me. She waved at me, and I waved at her. And then her boyfriend saw it. So he grabbed his crew, and they came over to my table like, yo, what's up? My girl, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, man, she waved at me. I just waved back. Yeah, don't say nothing to my girl. I was scared as hell. I waited till they left. I got up. I went and told Big Dan Short. I was like, yo, they messing with me, homie. He was like, who? He rode over to them little cats like, yo, he with me. Leave him alone. And that was it. I went back, sat at my table, and was just like, okay, I'm cool. Yeah, Shorty was interested in me. But shoot, she was about to get me yoked. You wouldn't know any names. Corey Porter. Nah. I don't know anybody. I know Vanessa Williams. Yeah, I tried to date Vanessa Williams, but she was a handful. She was a track star back in the day. She was really fast. Then she got pregnant, so that whole thing went out the window. Scholarships, everything, out the window. Couldn't stay away from the boys. Yeah, she couldn't stay away from the boys. Caught up to her. So yeah, I only know a handful of people. I also know Bill Cashaw. He was another one of my guardians. Bill Cashaw's from Aliquippa. I know a Pope. Damn, I forgot his first name. I forgot his first name. His last name was Pope. Shoot, I know he had a messed up leg too. He used to limp. Forgot what his name was. He's a cool dude. Not the Vanessa Williams who's a movie star. The Vanessa Williams who was a track star. She was a track star back then. Everybody who I mentioned had something to do with sports. Bill Cashall played in the McDonald Classic. Dan Short played for Pitt. Vanessa Williams ran track. She was fast in high school. Carl Rutledge was the fastest kid in Aliquippa. So when it came to the state meet, Carl Rutledge had to run up against Birdman. He had to run up against he didn't run up against Mike Fewell, but they compared times. But he had to run up against James Law. James Law was from Rochester. And James Law beat everybody. Easily. Yeah, Vanessa Williams, you look her up. She was a track star. And I met her at Donzi's. So, like I said, I don't know how old you are, but if you know any of those people, you're telling your age. Especially if you went to Donzi's. Okay, do you know who dude played on he didn't play any sports. Nick Nice. You know who Nick Nice is? The white boy, DJ for 107. Yeah, he would also be the DJ down at Donzi's on the water. So I used to come from here and go down there just to party on the water. And the Steelers, they would be in there, and it was a beautiful scene. Beautiful women everywhere. And that's where I met Vanessa. Yeah, there's beautiful women everywhere. You walk in there, some woman is gonna be on you. The last time I was there, Cordell Stewart was walking around in there. I was like, is that Cordell Stewart? Yeah, just walking around with his hands in his pocket, looking like a straight square. I'm like, you're Cordell Stewart. You play for the like, dude, you should be in here. But he was rocking with Portia then. Now, it's before he was with Portia. I don't know, but Portia bad. Woo! Man. But you would see chicks like that in Donzi's. Because there were rich dudes in there. My broke ass was going in there. Driving my Ford Taurus. People would be pulling up in these big cars. Shoot, it cost $10 to get in. I didn't care. I was in. I was in there kicking it. Yeah, Donzi's on the water. I don't think they have Donzi's anymore. Nah, they don't got it. Yeah, it says take a look back at the best of Pittsburgh. Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore. Wait a minute. Donzi's at one of Pittsburgh premier nightclub on the wait a minute. Donzi's is one of it's still there. Oh, it's still there. It's still open. They got the phone number and everything. So yeah, that's a thing. But we'll talk about meeting some fine ladies. Dawnsies. Dawnsies for sure. I don't go to parties anymore, but man, you walk in there with a suit and tie on, you're walking out of there with someone. You ain't gotta have a suit and tie on. You're coming out of there with someone. And sometimes their friends, they'll compete for you. It is massive. Yeah. But I would go there and then I would go to Homewood. There was this little hole in the wall club. I used to take my homies from here. I'd be like, listen, I'm gonna show you guys how to kick it in Pittsburgh. You guys want to go and listen to some great music, surrounded by a bunch of great women in a small place, just kicking it in the hood? I like, come with me. We'd all jump into a hoopty, drive 2.5 hours. I'd be like, yeah, go down the street right here. Shoot. Man, they got them there. They lost their damn mind. It was like, what is this? I was like, yeah, this place is open till 4. Just. But I don't live that life no more. I gave all that up and away. But yeah, if you look up Nick Nice, I knew those people. I didn't know Carl Rutledge, but I love to watch him run. I think his fastest time was 11:1. So, he's a great runner. Let's see if I can look him up. Yeah, there he is, Carl Rutledge. Oh, he's dead. Nah, might be a different Carl Rutledge. Let me look at it. Yeah, this ain't him. Yeah, this is somebody else. So he don't look like that. Yeah, Pittsburgh is good for. Pittsburgh is good if you want to find a woman. Yeah, Chris Rutledge, try and fill. Yeah, they don't have my man in there. DeSales. This dude runs for DeSales. I don't know who this is. Yeah, it'd be hard to find our pictures because they come from back in the '80s. So it's hard to find. Like, I don't think I could even find my pictures of running track, but I wasn't track famous. Carl Rutledge was track famous, or even James Law. So I'll try to look him up. His cousin Mondell ran track at New Brighton with me, and after that he became a drug dealer and lost his life. Oh, here's James Law. Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame, James Law. Arrogant prick. There he is in the spirit of 1985 when James Law emerged as the fastest Class A high school sprinter in Pennsylvania. Beaver County Times features his exploits in the story with the following headline: Law of the Land. No one outruns no one outruns James Law. Let me tell you something about this dude. Let me just tell you what happened to this man. And this was just, as somebody who loves genetics, it was very interesting what happened to him. I spoke to James Law because I had to unfortunately race him. We were both in the same county, so New Brighton had to play football against Rochester. We had to run track against Rochester, and when James Law hit the 11th grade, he was the fastest dude in the state. It just is what it. This guy ran a 10.29 on gravel. Drink that in. And if you don't know what gravel is, it is a gravel track. It is a loose gravel track. And every time you step, you would lose some of your step because it was gravel. It was rocks, basically, what you ran on. You had to have really long spikes to run on a gravel track just to get a grip. He ran a 10.29 on gravel. He was flying. This dude he couldn't play football to save his life. But when it came to track, it was unbelievable how fast this guy was. I think his fastest time in the 400 was 47, which was respectable. And when he would run as fast as he used to have his tongue out of his mouth, like his head back like this, and run like that. But he was so fast. When we went to the state qualifiers, I ran in the state qualifiers in the 11th grade. He cleaned everybody's clock. Anybody who was everybody, all the famous black runners in high school, I mean, it was a show. He just laughed at everyone. When 100 came up, it was everybody on board. All the speedsters, Carl Rutledge, Birdman, Williams, they were all there. They all lined up against him, and he dusted every single one of them. He made them. Listen, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. What's interesting about James Law is he said, and when I was talking to him before he blew my shoes off, he said, listen, when I was in the 10th grade, I couldn't even run fast. He said, I didn't get fast until I hit the 11th grade. Something just happened. I was like, what did you do? He's like, something just happened. And I was just able to run fast. I was like, I never forgot that. Then I had to race him in the 100. And, and before I said, listen, I don't usually run this race. I'm slow. I told him, I said, listen, my time, I said, I've never ran in the 11 seconds. My time is 12:1. He just looked at me and said, what? I said, yeah, I'm slow, man. I run the 400, but I can't, I'm not going to beat you. This is comical. I'm only here because the guys who actually run fast, they didn't want to run against you. I had to tell them, they're afraid of you. They didn't want to get embarrassed. And he was like, okay, fine. So we lined up, and he's talking to me while I'm in the blocks. He's not, nobody talks in the blocks. James Law is talking and looking at me in the blocks. He's like, come on, big boy. Show me what you got. He's like, show me what you got. And he just takes off, and I'm with him for about 3 steps. And then he just accelerated. It was embarrassed, but I didn't care because my coach knew that I wasn't a speedster, but I ran anything he told me to. Hell, I even would run the mile and the 2 mile if he told me to. I ran the 2 mile in 10:28. I ran the mile in 4:40. So I would run the 2 mile, the mile. He wanted me to run the half lap one time in the 2 mile relay. My split time was 2:07. You know what I'm saying? He wanted me to run the quarter mile. My fastest was 53. So, I did whatever they told me to. My 200 time was 24. So, when he needed somebody to fill in somewhere, he's like, pal, get in there. And I go in there and, and just run just to get the points. But he blew my doors off. The thing about it is Mondale, who was his cousin, was going to our school. I was in the 11th grade. Mondale was in the 10th grade. So he was running track. He was a happy-go-lucky kid. I think I still got a picture with me and him. And I'm confident I can outrun him. We practice all the time. I outrun him all the time. One time, the coach took him and I to Geneva College to run. on that hard track. That track is so hard. It's like a concrete track. It's just really, really hard. Bad for your heels and your shin splints. But him and I are doing sprints. I get him on the first one. Boom, 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 boom. It's like 40 yards. The next one, boom, go. I'm like, I'm not going to try to dust this kid. I'm just like, boom. He catches up to me and he passes me. And I'm like, all right. We line up again. He catches up to me and he passes me and I'm all out. And I'm like, line up again, boom. I never beat him again. Never. I said, how are you doing this? He said, I don't know. I'm just running. So there is something in his genetic, in his family, that kicks in when they hit somewhere around 15, 16 years old. There's some type of speed gene that's in his family that they don't even have to work for it. You know how people go to practice and lift and all that? They never did that. And this is both him and his cousin. The same thing happened to him. It all kicked in at once. And I was a witness to it. And, I was thankful for that. I never forgot it. Because I was like, there's no way that you're running this fast. Next thing you know, Mondale was running like 11.3. You're just kicking ass. I was like, how are you running? He's like, I have no idea. He didn't practice any more than we did. He didn't lift any more than we did. It just hit all at once. Bang! And their body was just able to accelerate to way above average. Like I said, James Law is the fastest kid in the state. It was a beautiful thing. And he drank, he smoked, he was completely rebellious. But my goodness, he was unbelievable. Unbelievable. There he is. I'll never forget it. I don't know what he's doing now. Should be coaching somewhere. High school career, James Law accepted a scholarship at Odessa Junior College in Texas. Later, James played football and track for Indiana University of Pittsburgh. To this day, James Law is still in the National Junior College record books as a member of Odessa's 4x1 relay team that ran a 38.86 seconds, which is fast as hell. James later started defensive back for 3 seasons with semi-pro team. He played for the Colts in North American football, helping his team reach a championship. Okay, he played semi-pro. James lives in Rochester, where he's from, and is a father of a daughter, Ivory, and son, DeMarcus. So now I know what happened to him. Yeah, cool stuff. That dude was something else. And I'm telling you right now, if James had the track that they have now, he would be in the record books for running probably one of the fastest times ever. He would be like Obadeli Thompson. I know you guys don't know who Obadeli Thompson is, but look him up if you want to talk about speed. Obadeli was ridiculously fast. Yeah. So I would say James Law would a 10.29 on gravel today would be like a 9.97. Maybe a little less than that, probably somewhere around 9.8. It's fast. It's just fast. Probably a 9.8, 9.85 or something like that. That record wasn't broken until Ben Johnson ran a 9.8. That just puts you in the perspective of how fast this guy was running. Ben Johnson ran a 9.88 and broke the world record. And then right after him, Linford Christie came, and then you had Fred Fredericks and all those people. I mean, if if James Law would have had what Frankie Fredericks had, Frankie Fredericks still holds the record for the fastest indoor 200 meters. He still holds a record today. And the person who came close to beating him, his record was Oda Duru, which he graduated 2 years ago. He won the NCAA in 100 and 200. Then he tried to go and run track and, get paid for it like they do. And turned out he was, doping. So he has a doping ban on him. But just let you know how fast Frankie Fredericks was running, and how fast James Law could keep up with Frankie Fredericks. James Law could have kept up with Carl Lewis easily. He could have kept up with all of those guys. Ben Johnson, too. On drugs. That's how fast this kid was. He was amazing. So, I know I spent a lot of time talking about this guy, but if you saw what I saw, it was just something that, it was a once-in-a-lifetime thing because the way he beat everybody in the showcase, when we went to the state, we went to a state qualifiers meet. Went to a few of them. Went to a state qualifiers meet. They had a guy who was the fastest dude from 1 to 40. The fastest 40-yard. Little short dude. Very quick. James Law heard about this guy. Like this guy was something else. He heard about him. And when he lined up against him in 100, mind you, everybody else there, he starts talking to him like he talked to me. And he told him, he was like, I heard you were the fastest guy from 1 to 40. Little guy ain't saying nothing. He's taunting him in the blocks. Unheard of. Nobody does this. He's in the blocks like, yeah, okay, let's go. I heard you were the fastest guy from 1 to 40. Brother Mark said, come on, let me see what you got. He's looking at him before let me see what you got, man. Let me say, go. He starts to run. He's still looking at him. He's like, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. He's running and he's looking at him. Come on. Then he turns his head, puts his head back, his tongue comes out, and he left that kid standing there. He got booed for that. They call it unsportsmanlike or whatever. I was like, dude, are we even going to acknowledge what he just did? You guys want to boo him. I didn't boo him. I was like, that was incredible. That was pure control over his speed. He beat that kid in his own race. Because they run the 60 now. We wasn't running the 60s back then. They also run, 40 for time. This kid was the fact. See, what they did was they set that kid up. And they wanted a showcase. And they got upset because they hyped this kid up to showcase against somebody who won the state meet last year. And he comes into this qualifier meet, and they're just like, yeah, this kid is the fastest from 1 to 40 in the state. They should have never done that. They played this kid. They played it because they wanted, like they do now with Sha'Carri Richardson. They want people to come and watch. It's a showcase. And that's what they did. They set this poor kid up. He had not one word to say to James Law. Not one. Not one. And Law is talking to him the whole time. This guy had the law on the back of his shoes. I've never seen nothing like that in my life. And I saw some very fast people run. But that was just sure. I was like, yeah, it was cocky, but I've never seen somebody look at in 100. I've never seen somebody look at somebody the whole time and they're running beside them like they're not even right. He was, come on. This kid's like, he's like, come on. And after he hits 40 yards, he's like, it just, he let He didn't even care about the other runners. There were 6 other people in that race. Didn't matter. I wish I had that on film. He just, the way he cocked his head back on, So I considered it a privilege getting beat by him. I tell him that today. I'd be like, you ran against me in Rochester. You beat me twice. You beat me in a 400, no competition. And you kicked my behind in a 100. And I just want to say thank you very much, you cocky prick. Because the illustration of speed, I'm a fan of, athletes, and you know what I'm saying? I watched his when his team was losing in the 4x1 in the state meet. They were losing in a 4x1. He was the last one to get the baton. He opened up. He ended up getting them in at least 3rd place, but they were so far behind. They were just so far behind, but he got him in the 3rd place. So I was like, okay. I mean, just, and when he was running, it looked like this. It looked like an automobile. He looked like an automobile. That's the way James Law looked. He looked like an automobile. And he's skinny. He didn't even have a lot of muscle. We played against him in football. If you crack this guy, he went down. Like, he wasn't stronger than me. I mean, come on. I was putting up 225 in high school twice. Easy. Without warming up, I was bench pressing 225. You know what I mean? So I was strong, but another thing, he could not, when it came to, being able to juke people out, James Law wasn't able to do that. He didn't have a lot of this and that when he get the ball. He get the ball in the backfield, he would just beat you to the corner on a sweep, and then he would take off the field. But when it come to all this stop and go, wasn't that type of party. You know what I mean? So I just find it interesting how some athletes, even though it's still running, you figure they'd be good at something else when it comes to running, but their football team sucked. We wiped the floor with them. They sucked. And I mean, if he got in the open field, it was lights out. You weren't gonna. If he got into open field, you just stopped running. There was no sense of chasing him. If he got a sweep on you and got in the open field, if they were running anything with the 8 on it or anything with the 7 on it, and he got around there, once he hit that corner, it just, like Randy Moss, you might as well just stop running. Not unless you're Darryl Green, and none of us was Darryl Green. Hey, Tone, did you go to states? I went to the qualifiers meets. So I went to qualify for the states, and that's where I saw him. Yeah. I went to the state qualifiers meets. And I also went to the invitationals. I saw him at the invitationals. And then, of course, his school was in walking distance of mine, so I ran against him. So, no, I was not fast enough to go to states. I got beat by a few people. I got beat by Rochester in the 400, of course. I got beat by Riverside in the 400. I lost to a couple little hick schools. They had some quick white dudes, but they were all close races. I didn't get my doors blown away by anyone except James Law. He's the only guy that really, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Everybody else, I was in there. You had some guys running 52s and 51s, and and I was running 53 low. So I was good enough to be above average, But for the guys who were hitting 50 flat 49s, it's not even. And there wasn't a lot doing 49s. It was like maybe two. And then James Law was running a 47. So that was pretty much it. But the average person, the below average person was doing like 56, 55, in a 54 range. I would beat those guys. And then, so I was above average. So I did not go to states, but I won my heat at the qualifiers, but my time was too slow. I ran a 54 low and fell over at the. I hit the finish line and literally went for the padding and just fell over in the padding because I was so exhausted. But my coach was proud of me because he didn't think I was going to win. As a matter of fact, they put me in the 8th lane. So nobody thought I was going to win the heat. And I said that. I was like, I'm in the 8th lane. And I looked at everybody and I said, oh, I guess I'm supposed to lose. And they all laughed at me. They said, ready, go. And I ran like a bat out of hell. All I was thinking about is I'm supposed to lose, So what helped me is I beat everyone to the 200 mark. So when the 200 mark came, I still had the stagger. Of course, I didn't know that because I'm ahead of everyone. But that's really what it was. I was running scared because, I couldn't see everybody, but you could hear everyone. And when I made it to the 200 mark, that's when I could start hearing spikes start coming up on me. And of course, I'm worn out by then. But, the next 200 coming around the bend, people start going this way. Then they start coming back to me. And once I reeled the last guy in, the finish line was like, 10 yards in front. And I just leaned and boom, I beat everyone in the heat. But my time was too slow. I missed track. I remember the medal I got back at back at my high school divisional meet from the 800. There it is. I ran the 800. I didn't start running the 800 until we were down a man and we needed to run a 2-mile relay. So our fastest guy in the 800 ran a 2:07. His last name was Kemp. He ran a 2:07. He was a little cocky. I don't know why he thought he was faster than me, but, I got in a couple of conversations with him, and I was just kind of like, dude, whatever. Like, you don't even realize that I run to football practice, and then I run home, and then I run back to football practice. You get a ride to football practice. I run to football practice. I run to school. I run to track practice. Run, and then run home. They didn't realize how, I did all of that stuff. When I needed to go to the store, I ran to the store. But I was just like, okay. So they needed me for the 2-mile relay, and they wanted me to run the 3rd leg. So I said, all right, I got you, coach. Coach said, get on in there. But see, the coach knew. Old Sheffield, he knew. He's like, go ahead and sit in. I said, I got it. And we were down. We were down about maybe 10, 15 yards. Maybe a little more than that. Once I got the baton from Jai Hill, who also went semi-pro. I got a baton from Jai Hill. My guy was, he had a good distance on me. He was all the way around the corners. So he had me by, 30 yards, something like that. I caught him right around the 200 mark. I just took off, caught him. I ran the first lap in 59 seconds. Just tracked him down. Ran the second lap in 50. I ran the second lap in 63 or something like that. But I didn't even have to run hard. I ended up running a 206, 207. On my split, all I could think of is, I mean, I got this guy beat, so I don't have to run hard. I ended up running around 204, my fastest time in high school. After I got out, I got a scholarship for track at Talladega, small school, and they wanted me to run a mile for them. So my fastest mile was 4:26. My fastest, that was my fastest 1500. My fastest 1600 was 4:40. My fastest road mile was 4:35. My fastest 2 mile was 10:28. So I was above average when it came to the mile, but I wasn't gonna win Carlsbad or anything like that. I was competitive, but even when I was close to 30, I could still run under 5 minutes. I was running 4:55 in a mile, and I was 27, 28. Just running on the street. So, and I did that in the Bethesda Mile. So the Bethesda Mile is kind of like Carlsbad. So if you look up Carlsbad and you see people running the crew to make a mile and stuff like that, that's what I'm talking about. It's a road race that's sponsored, and people who are, just fast people would come out and run it. Did you ever do cross country? When I was in the 8th grade? And that's when people started to notice that I had a decent set of lungs. My coach was like, not bad. It was easy for me. Cross country was easy. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the quiet. I enjoyed listening to my feet hit the ground and watching my feet hit the ground and the quiet in running. And I miss it because my knees ain't having it. Hold on a second, guys. I really miss it because my knees are hurting every day. I wish I could still run. I did some running in the Army too. So the Army really helped. I love to run in the Army. Of course, the Army promotes running. So I had some privileges because I could run, and my 2-star general saw that I love to run. So he told my E7 to have me out there during some of their running events that they would have, and they would call them the Hash House Race. So I won the first Hash House Race, and the 2-stars out there, the generals, the colonels, all the gold leaf, the silver leaf is out there, the captain, the first Louis, they're all out there. And that's when they discovered that I could run. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. Now, I made the mistake of thinking that I was the fastest guy on our concern, which is a campus, and I wasn't. I was like, yeah, I'm faster than everybody else. Negative. There were some guys who were married. They just didn't live on the base, but they were part of the company. You know, I thought I was the fastest guy in the company. No, sirree, Bob. They had another, you know, like I said, the Army loves people who can run. They love athletics. So they would have these events and say, hey, you guys all come out and do this. Man, they had this captain come out. Super fast. Super fast. Him and some other guys that came out, blew my doors off. Blew my doors off. We had this event where we ran up to this castle. It was like a 7-mile run. Ooh, boy. Boy, well, I got humbled. But it was okay because, you know, I ended up running with this guy named Bynum. He would come get me at like 9 o'clock at night. He would say, come on, let's go running. And we'd go out and run 5 miles. And he'd, of course, kick my ass. But because I ran with him so much, I eventually got faster. I started getting as, you know, I got as fast as he is, or as he was. And yeah, it just made me a better runner. But that was all in the military. You know, I did a lot of running on my own too. So, but yeah, the 800. 800 was my race. So how are your knees, man? Are your knees good, or do you have any knee problems? Because both my knees, my tendons in my knees are just, I can't run at all. And I try to stretch, I try to exercise to build them up, and I can't run at all. That's why I'm, you know, obese. I shouldn't be this big. My face should not look this round. I should be, what time is it? Oh, that's not bad. I should be, I should be 200 and maybe 10 or 20 pounds solid. I am 280 pounds. I'm a big boy. Oh my God, I'm a big boy. And I know I'm overweight. I walk like I'm overweight. I'm lumbering. I mean, 20 more pounds, I'm 300. I don't want to be 300 pounds. Not unless I was 300 pounds of muscle. I don't even want to do that. I don't want to do that. Look, Dorian Yates was 320 pounds in the off season. Don't know who Dorian Yates is? Look him up. Bodybuilder. 320 pounds. Another 40 pounds, I would be that big. No, no. Dorian Yates is like 5'4". I'm 6'2". No way. No way. I mean, you know, shiz. One person said, she's like, listen, if you started lifting, you would be huge. I'm like, my body can't lift all them weights. No, I can't, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie Coleman, look at Ronnie Coleman now. He can't even walk. Ronnie Coleman cannot walk. He literally has screws in his back. And the people he was competing against, they was like, why are you lifting that much weight? Because he could. He was all hopped up on them drugs. He's all hopped up. Ronnie Coleman was doing ridiculous weights, and they were like, you don't even have to lift that much. So no, I mean, if I start getting on the juice and then getting on those programs, man, God, I'd be massive. I'd start growing out this way. It'd be ridiculous. I'm not doing that. I'm already getting bigger just from lifting once a week. I can't fit into any of my clothes. That's why I'm always wearing these t-shirts. Because I can't fit into any of my little, you know, other little stuff because, you know, lifting and then, you know, I'm, you know, 60, 70 pounds overweight. Can't lose it. I can't run no more. And whenever I'm, you got to bend down to do all those other exercises. Oh my! The worst part about being this overweight? The wind. I am tired all the time. If I got to move something around, I'd be, I'm tired. I am tired all the time. Like I tried shadow boxing. I got about a good 30 seconds in me. That's it. When I try to go for like 2-3 minutes, I don't have anything scheduled for the rest of that day because I am tired. I used to run a mile in 6 minutes flat. Just I'd wake up out of my sleep and I'm gonna go run a mile. I ran like a 5 something. I can't do none of that anymore. None of it. So yeah. That really sucks. As far as any of you athletes out there, maybe you can give me some tips on to do with these knees. I think what I'm gonna start doing is eating fat burner foods. I don't really like spicy foods, but there's some foods that will burn your fat at night. So I figure if I can just knock off 25 pounds, I'd feel a lot better. Wouldn't be so damn tired either. I tried to swim. I tried to swim. Woo! My God! Swimming? Woo! No. My poor, I'm hanging one to the side in the deep, like, oh my God, swimming. No. Oh, sweet heavens, swimming. Jeez. I watched a guy who was in his 60s swim a mile. 52 laps. This guy. Nonstop. I got in there. I swam down, back. I was finito. I had to pull over. I had to pull over. My wife can swim pretty good. Wish I knew how. Yo, I know how to swim, but my poor lungs. I have asthma too. So, but I have active induced asthma. I don't have chronic, so I have to get into an activity and then my asthma kicks in. But I have it. But hey man, let me tell you something. If you don't know how to swim, learn how to swim. I don't know what you do for your pastime, broski. I know if your wife is going to the Y, if she's going to the Y and she's jumping in and she's, and especially if she's serious. Listen, if your wife swims like this, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, she can swim. If she knows how to count and rotate her head on both sides, and she's not swimming like this with her head up, if your wife is all the way back, come down, all the way back, head down, 1, 2, 3, 4, yo, she can swim. You need to jump in there. You need to be like, I don't know what the wife's name is, don't care. But whatever you call her or her nickname, you need to humble yourself and say, hey, sweetie sugar, honey, lamb, suckle bum, whatever you call her, and say, listen. Listen, I'm just gonna say it. I need you to teach me how to swim. Just you got this one. You got this one. Your boy wants to know. I'm trying to tell you, learn how to swim, especially treading water. Oh my goodness, treading water. Learn how to tread. I used to be able to tread water without my hands. Man, I will sink like a rock if I tried that now. Yeah, she was trying to get me in the deep. I already knew. That's why I was clowning you. I already knew because the woman, if she's got one on you, she's gonna let you. She's gonna be like, baby, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, it's not, because I know that you got one on me. I know how this is, telling your friends, he can't swim, but I love him. Like, get out of it. Why you have to throw that in there? They're like, son, you got to do it for us. You got to do it for us, man. You got to do it for us. Like, if I had a woman, you know what I'm saying? If I had a woman and, she knew how to, I don't know. she knew how to make I don't know. I'd be like, I got to do this. You wasn't embarrassed. She was real. Yeah, but she's laughing on the inside. I'm telling you right now, she's laughing about it. And it's cool because you guys, y'all love each other. She loves you. And listen, we're surrounded by water, so let's just be for real. You need to learn how to swim. Can the Bambitos swim? Can your 10-year-old? Does she throw on the old Speedos and get with it? you know that looks bad, right? Yeah, Dad, come on. Your little girl's like, oh, we're going swimming? Throw her head up in a bun and put on that cap and grab the goggles. Yeah, peace. It's bad. It's bad. All three of your kids are doing cannonballs while you're standing there and the water's up to your midsection. Oh no. No, son. No, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. Listen. You feel like God only blessed me with speed as far as running. Oh my goodness. When it comes to sport, yeah, you gotta do it, man. You gotta do it. Do it for the little ones. You gotta do it, man. I'm trying to tell you. You gotta get down and just say, you know what? You gotta let all that pride, you just gotta let it go. And just get, you gotta get to the basics. I'm telling you what it is. Once you get your basics down, it is not hard to do. It's not hard to do. It's really it's a real basic principle. And you just glide across the water. Now, when you get into the techniques, you glide across the water faster with little effort. So when you see those people swimming in NCAA, they know all the tricks. There's technique to it. to get you across the water fast. But once you do that, yeah, I don't care if you're 90 years old. If you keep those same techniques, you're going to sail across the water. And if you're swimming in a lake and there's some chop, same thing, it'll work. You're swimming in the ocean and there's some chop, it'll still work. There's just some very basic principles to swimming, and it doesn't matter the size of body of water. What does matter is what the currents are doing. Because you could be swimming one way and the current's pushing you this way, you're still going to go this way. So what you have to do is choose to go either this way or that way and swim across the current. So if the current's pushing, if you're trying to come in and the current's pushing you out, it's going to push you out, right? So what you have to do is go this way and swim. You're going to go like this, but you're going to get away from the current that's pushing you, and eventually you're going to be able to come in. A lot of people die like that because they'll get hit with the, I forgot what the current's called, but it's basically, it surprises people on the beach. And what they're doing is they're fighting the current because they keep trying to swim in, but the current's taking them out. Then they get too tired and then they die. But if they already knew, I have to swim across the current's going to keep pushing you out because that current's going to go out a couple miles. So you have to swim across. And once you get out of that current's, wake or whatever, you can swim in. Yeah. My homeboy from the military was helping me out. Yeah, there you go. That's what you do. Yeah, every now and then I'll announce on Facebook if somebody wants to go swimming, I'll teach them how to swim. I think it's highly necessary to learn how to swim. I think it's especially if you have kids. Especially if you have kids. You don't want to be sitting on the sideline if your kid goes in there and swallows a cup of water and can't get their head above the water. You don't want to be the person that can't. No, you want to be able to, spring into action and, swim down there and grab your kid and swim to safety. There's technique to that. You got to save yourself too and save your kid. You ever seen somebody trying to save a drowning person? The drowning person usually kills them because they're pulling them under. So in order for that not to happen, you have to grab the person from behind so they don't pull you under, and then bring both of your bodies, up and then on your back and then swim on your, there's a whole way of doing it. This is why there are certain strokes that are made. They're not made just for competition. One of those strokes is called the side stroke. And it's literally you're swimming like this. And your body's projecting along the water. And your head is up. Your head doesn't go underwater at all. You just shh, shh. Well, it's made so if you have somebody in your hand, you can reach out, bring the water towards you. Then your legs do a scissor kick. There's a way you can do your feet and your legs to where it's also propelling you. If you're holding a person with two hands, you're also being propelled by your feet. So there is a lot of technique that goes into swimming, especially if you're swimming, for a particular purpose, like rescuing someone. But it's just some things you just want to know. So, you got 3 babies. Yeah, I'd be all over that. But I take your time about it too. Like, don't be in a hurry. Go out there and swallow a bunch of water, and don't do it alone. And if if the homie is willing to show you how to swim, take that to heart. Swallow your pride and take that because it's just very important. A lot of times people think I need to learn how to crawl stroke, and crawl stroke is the one you see everybody doing real fast. I need to be able to do that. And the first thing people do is they fight the water. And that's when you start losing all your energy. That's how you die. Also, when you have your hand, a lot of people have their hand wide open. So they're smacking the water like this. Yep, that's how you lose all your energy. You ain't gonna survive smacking the water. You gotta have your hand cupped like this, bring it like that. Water goes in here, push the water back, your body goes forward. Put your head in the water, hold your breath, bring your head up the side of the water, breathe. Hold, breathe. And once you start getting good, you'll be able to go breathe in, breathe out. Only time you're gonna hold is if you're gonna take another stroke. So if you're going like this, your shoulder's gonna come up, your mouth is gonna come to the side, water's gonna be right here, you're gonna breathe in. It's a rhythm to it. It's the way you do it. Or you can go to the other side. You know, if this side's up and you're running out of breath, breathe. Or breathe out in the water and then turn your face, get a breath. And once you get into that rhythm, your body will automatically, once your mind gets there, your body will just follow it. There'll be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, you keep your feet going, and your feet don't have to be like, you know, it's just a few flutters. You keep your toes pointed, your body will just start cruising along the water. And when you go faster, you pull the water back faster. And it's just, you'll get it, man. You know, I could teach you how to swim 2 lessons, you'll be swimming. But if you fight the water, you'll never learn. A lot of people get in to do like this. It's so much. The thing about water is there's so much wasted effort goes into swimming when you don't know what you're doing. That's how people drown, when they're fighting the water. And if they knew how to tread water, they could just stop and get there. Well, that's a very good basic. So let's just say that you and the homies, y'all go out to a lake. You guys are fishing. Y'all ain't even swimming. Y'all fishing, having a good time, you know, talking about sports or whatever. Somebody comes by in their boat speeding. Boom. You guys hit a wave. You know, one of you guys overreact. You tilt the canoe. Both of you go in the water. Now what? You're going to start reaching for the canoe, but the canoe's tipped over. You can't get on top of the canoe. The canoe's tipped over. Now what? See what I mean? Now you have to tread water. If you don't have a life jacket with you, which most people will not, you know, especially men, you know, they're not even going to have one around. You know, they just go out on the water. We don't need a life jacket. For what? What's that do? You know what I'm saying? But now what? Now you got 2 dead people. But if you know how to tread water good, you know, if you can tread water, here's what I would do. When it comes to treading water, you should practice treading water for 3 minutes. And once you get good, where you can tread water for 3 minutes, you can tread water in just legs and feet. Try doing it with one hand up. Keep your head above the water. Once you get good, try doing it with just your feet. Your head will be about right here. Water will be about right here. Your arms have to be, and you're treading water. Do it as long as you can. The reason why it's so important, for one, it's building up your cardiovascular. For 2, it's getting you used to the water splashing up against your face without you panicking. That's how most people die in the water. They panic. So when water hits you a little bit, you're like, ooh, no, you just brush it off, take a gulp of air, and it's strengthening you, trust me. And then when you need to, use your hands again, you know, and just keep doing it. Trust me, you'll become. I mean, once you start treading water, if you're going doing like this, you can easily just roll over on your back and just start floating backwards like this. If you can do that, you can turn over on your stomach and do the same thing. That's almost a breaststroke. The breaststroke is just this right here. Except your body comes out of the water, then you go in. You're practically doing it. You know what I'm saying? So swimming is not as hard as you think, but that's what I would start off doing. I would start off with treading the water. I would get up to like 3 minutes to where I'm comfortable treading the water. And then I would start off with some simple strokes like the breaststroke, just real easy, cruising across the water, because that'll save you too. That'll save you. If your boat is 400 or 500 yards off of the coast of wherever, you're not going to crawl stroke in there. Your boat's tipped over, it sank. You need to get back there. You don't want to expend a bunch of energy because you're going to drown. You're going to drown. So what do? You're like, okay, I'm doggy paddle. Doggy paddle does not take a lot of energy. Get a little doggy paddle going on. And when you get close enough, do a little breaststroke. If you get a little tired, stop. Tread water. Yeah, you get tired, you stop. You tread water, you catch your breath. Real easy. Calm down your heart. Look and see how far you got to go. Then a little bit more. A little bit more. Get a little winded. Slow down. Now, if you know how to float, then you're really in there. I am a terrible, I don't know how to float that good. Not at all. Some people can float on their backs for days. There's one guy whose plane went down and he was out on the water for 48 hours floating in the middle of the ocean. He was floating just there. I would have been dead because I don't float. So that's another thing you should practice, learning how to float. I've tried and tried again. I don't know how to float. I suck at it. But nonetheless, that'll save your life. So if you're not, if you get a little winded, stop, roll over on your back, float. If you can take your shoes off, take them off. You might have to go down a little bit in the water, boom, undo your shoe, boom, boom, come up, catch your breath, undo the other one, come up, catch your breath, float, save your energy, turn over, breaststroke. Nice and easy, little doggy paddle, and sooner or later, you'll make up that distance. Of course, hopefully somebody will see you too, but I'm just saying, if you're on your own and nobody's there or nobody can get to you, because sometimes people will see you, but they can't get to you, you just take your time and don't fight the water, you will make it to the shore. But what biggest thing about water is people panic. If you don't panic, you'll live. If you panic, you will die. Just all the time I see videos of people drowning, I'm like, they could have survived that, but they panicked. Some people jump in the water and don't know how to swim, and I don't get that. I don't get that. Other people are surprised by the current. You know what I mean? But they're like super athletes, so they think they'll live. No, they're dead. So, yeah. Yeah, Billy Law, you know the deal, Bill. You know how it is. When you're swimming, there's a technique. All the time, there's a technique to it. The biggest technique is don't panic. If your boat is going down and you can see the shore, don't panic. Take your time. Now, here's some other things you can learn. If you have on a pair of pants, your pants become a floating device. But you already have to know how to hold your breath in order to do this. And you got to think very clearly. You can't be thinking, oh, I'm about to sink. And, no, you got to think clearly. The first thing you do is undo your belt buckle. Get rid of that belt. Undo that belt buckle. Take your shoes off, especially if you have on boots. Get rid of them. They're holding you back. They're weighing you down. Get rid of them. Your shirt, get rid of your shirt. It's probably cold anyway. It is what it is. Your pants, if you can slip your pants off, it'll take you a minute, but when you get your pants off, you can take your pants, tie the leg at the bottom, tie it up in a knot. Take the other leg, tie it up in a knot. Once you do that, you take your pants from behind your head. Mind you, you're treading water. That's what I'm saying. Learn how to tread water like this. Once you do that, you take the pants and you go like this, and there will be a puff of air that goes into it. Then you tighten it down like this, and you hold on to it as much as you can. You can take that, and it'll hold you up for a little while. It ain't going to last that long, but it'll give you a little breath. And you can keep doing it. And while you're doing that, while you're resting a little bit, you can start paddling. Just use your feet, little by little, inching your way towards wherever land is. It'll give you a little bit. It'll give you a little bit of a buoyancy is what you want. So if you're not somebody who could float, you could do that. Just throw your pants up over your head after you tie down both ends, pant legs. And don't do it when you're tired. Do it as soon as you know you're okay. I'm in the water. Get rid of my shoes. Get rid of anything else weighing me down. Boom. Get these pants off. Tie them up. Tie them up. Boom. Do it while you have some energy. Get a good lean on it. Start pedaling with your feet. When there's no more air in there again, do it again. Keep doing it until you reach the shore. It takes practice to do that, though. But it is something that can help you. Yeah, I would start seeing some more water time if I was you, buddy. Learning how to swim is something I wouldn't play with because we're surrounded by water. I'm not saying it's this huge emergency. I'm just saying sometime this year, especially if you got a homie that'll help you. You can FaceTime me. I'll show you. I'll give you some pointers. Get you to the edge of the pool. You don't even have to be in the deep. I can show you some stuff. Just some really basic stuff. How to get your head to and your feet to kick right. Once you learn those things, man, then it's all about bringing the water up, down, cross your body, back, up, down, cross your body, back. Once you get that rhythm down with your legs and your head, kick, 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 kick. Telling you, you'll be like, and then there are some people who swim very quietly. They just cruise along the water, swim very quietly. They got the whole technique down. They're not necessarily moving fast, but they're quiet. And then you have the people who are speedsters, who can like how are they swimming like so fast? Probably your wife probably can swim fast. It's because they got the whole arm technique down. They bring that arm back, that water just And some people, when they swim, their whole hand will, when their shoulder goes back, their whole hand will come up over like this. Then they'll reach for the water. They'll go in sideways. Then they'll turn their wrist. Then they'll come back and do that. So you'll see their whole body rocking like this. It's not the most efficient way. Not the most efficient way. You can keep your arm, if you can keep your body as possible. And so what you'll see some people do is instead of their body, their arm coming way up like this, it'll come to the side. So it'll come in the water and it'll come out and it'll go to the side. But it'll skim across the water. Like their thumb will barely hit the water. Because every time you hit the water, it's resistance. So you don't want to be dragging your hand across the water. You're just wasting wasting energy. But you'll see the water would be at this level. You'll see their hand come right across the water like this. In the water, elbow, boom, hand come out, across the water. It depends on what branch of the military you're in. But when I was in the military, hold on a second. Let me think. No, we didn't have to face the water. Not in the Army. We didn't have to face no water, just a couple puddles. But no, I didn't face no water. But I could have, because I've been swimming since I was a kid. Hell, I was in water ballet when I was 11. True story. Yeah, I was in water ballet. Put on a show and everything. Yeah, but the Navy SEALs isn't the only elite team that will have you in the water. You know what I'm saying? There's all kind of things to do in the military. So if you want to be in the water, yeah, you can find a program that will have you, submerged, under there learning stuff just the Marines alone. You go into the Marines, you're going in the water. That's what Marines do. So you're going in the water if you join the Marines. But in the Army, not so much. Or in the Air Force, not so much. But the Navy and the Marines, you're going in the water. In basic training in the Marines, you're going in the water. But once you learn those techniques and turn your hand and ask your wife, she'll be like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. When you look at Katie Ledecky and, if you want to look at old footage of really good swimmers, you'd look at Mark Spitz. Just look at his form. Mark Spitz swimming. And then look at Phelps, Michael Phelps, and look at his form. Michael Phelps had a cheat code. He was double jointed. Not is. Michael Phelps is double jointed. Yeah. It's like a mutant. Yeah, he had it going. He had a really good advantage. But yeah. So also the really great thing about swimming is it lowers your heart rate. Lowers your heart rate. So if you have a resting heart rate of 56, 57, 60, and you want to get it down real good to like 48, the lowest my heart rate has ever been was 44. And the doctor was like, hey, your heart is beating too slow. Like, what do you mean? Because I ran all the time, so I had a really low heart rate. I just ran all the, you know, so running and stuff like that gives you a really low heart rate. And that's what you want. You don't want your heart to be working extra hard. So you have to train it to acclimate it to do that. So when it does come up into a stressful situation, it's easy. Swimming does that for you. Even treading water. So get into the water. Go into the deep end to where the water is right above your head. But don't go into the 12 or the 9 feet. Go into the 8 feet, 7 feet. I don't know how tall you are, but you know that slope. Go where the wall is, where that slope is, and it'll tell you you're in the 6 feet. So if you're, 5'9", 5'10", like I said, I don't know how tall you are, but 6 feet is fine. So it's, got a couple inches. And I'm saying go there and practice, because if you panic, you can just, jump off the bottom of the pool and grab the wall. You can save yourself. The wall's right here. You can just, push yourself off the bottom of the pool, grab the wall. That's another exercise I used to do, back when I was a kid. I would go into the water where it was slightly over my head and just jump up and down in the water. And eventually you can just go deeper and deeper and deeper. And, like when I was 11, 12 years old, we used to have competitions to see who can stay in the water the longest, or to see who can swim from one end to the other and back, down and back without coming up out of the water. And I would swim sideways underwater, and it helped me swim really fast. So there's just some exercises I was doing when I was a kid that probably help you out now, especially your fear, if you have any fear of the water, or if you're fighting the water or anything like that, how to hold your water in your lungs, bring it up to your mouth, take it back down to your lungs, or breathe out little by little, because you always want to breathe. So if you breathe out little by little, your brain still is saying, oh, you're breathing. So once again, you're not panicking where you're going to lose all your water. You can get it to a point to, if it's 12 feet, I think most pool is 12 feet, and you're in the 12 foot, you can sink all the way down to the bottom and Superman jump and, do one of these numbers, and boom, couple strokes, your head is above the water. Side of the pool is right there. So, yeah. Swimming is good for you guys. Go swimming. Teach your kids how to swim. If your woman knows how to swim, that's a big plus. Huge plus. Because getting a woman in the pool is a chore in itself. Your woman is already doing that. Huge plus. Also, working out in the pool. Yes, it's a huge plus. You can get your woman in there. Your woman can get your kids in there. You want your kids to know how to swim. I felt at home in the water when I was a kid. I was just so good at swimming. I used to sink to the bottom of the pool and just sit there. Like literally, I would sit down at the bottom of the pool and just sit there. And the 12 feet, just be sitting there, thinking. Then it was time for me to go. I would. I thought I was a superhero when I was a kid, like most kids do, and I would, and come up out the water. Yeah, you can get them kids in water. Get your kids in the water. Yeah. Kids are something else because kids will show you the importance of stuff that you would just probably just be like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to do that. Kids will make you pay attention to detail. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know that was important. Like, I better do that. I think I'm going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Get your kids in the water, swimming it up. Great exercise, burns a lot of energy. Burns a lot of energy. A lot. Makes you super hungry. Yeah. You know who Jack LaLanne is? I don't know how old any of you guys are. But if you ever look up a man, not a man, the myth, the legend, Jack LaLanne, look him up. Oh, you want to talk about a specimen? That dude was something abnormal. This guy would swim across harbors and he would do it and he would be pulling boats. He would have the boats rigged to a thing that he could bite. He would bite it and he would be pulling a boat across the harbor. Just out there swimming. Jacqueline, man. That dude was something else. Let me look this dude up real quick. There he is. Jack LaLanne. I wonder if he's still living. The incredible one. He was Mr. Fitness. He died in 2011. You want to talk about somebody who's fit? Whew. Wonder how he died. You wouldn't think this guy would die like Jack LaLanne is still. He's still alive somewhere, I know it. Yeah, he died in January 2011. What was his cause of death? Complications from pneumonia. He was 96. They said he was exercising all the way up until his last breath. Oh my God, just some of his exploits. He was 96. He lived a good one. You make it, listen, if you make it past 70, you're doing good. You're doing good. 96, exercising all the way up to pneumonia. Pneumonia took him out. I'm mad at pneumonia. Tell pneumonia I'm looking for him. I think Jack LaLanne should still be alive. That dude, stuff he could do, man. So he makes me want to go to the gym right now. Why ain't you at the gym right now? Yeah, so, get to the water, you guys. If your woman is already, on that program, use that. Your wife is loving the water. Oh, you gotta take advantage of that. You gotta take a cheat. Well, wait, North Braddock, wife's what? You got. So, what's your nationality? You Caucasian? You African American? I think you're African American. Your wife's from North Braddock. Well, there's some Caucasians live in North Braddock. Nah, you guys are black. Nah, you know what? Nah, you guys are black. Yeah, you guys are black. What's your nationality, man? I don't know why people think black people can't swim either. I don't know where that nonsense came from. Black people can't swim. Like, where did they get that from? Like, what are you talking about? Black people can't swim. We're Indians. Wait, what do you mean we can't swim? What do you think we were doing out in the water? Black people can swim. Damn good. Damn good. You know? Yeah, if your wife's with the program, get on out there. Learn how to swim. Shoot, I just started riding a bike again. I just started riding a bike again. Ain't that something? I ain't rode a bike in years. But I found a beach cruiser somebody got rid of. I ride every day now. You on that beach cruiser? Shoot, now I gotta, because I've been talked about it so much, I gotta go up to the Y and go to the. Gotta go to the. You guys. Now I gotta go to the pool. You guys. Now I feel some type of way. I gotta go swimming. Oh my God, my lungs are gonna hurt so bad. That's how it sounds. That's how it sounds in the swimming pool. It's like, what is wrong with this guy? He ain't swam in 3 years. Shh. Yeah, man, go swimming. Hiking. Was the last time you went hiking? Let me tell you something else. Do you know how to shoot a bow and arrow? Man, do you know how to make a bow and arrow? I used to have to make my own bow and arrow. Yeah, learn how to make a bow and arrow. Like out of whatever's outside. I bet none of y'all know how to make a bow and arrow. Never even thought about it. Why would I think about making a bow? Why not? Why not? Or a hatchet, start a fire, any of that stuff? You guys know how to do any of that? Why not show your kid? Get honey out of a tree, bake a potato. You guys know how to do any of that stuff. See, we're so modern. so modern. I like this. Yeah, we're so modern. We don't know how to do none of that. Can't build a log cabin. I can't build a log cabin. But if I look at it on YouTube, I can. I'll build the hell out of a cabin if I had to. I will build the snot out of a cabin. Like, oh, say less. Let me go ahead and get my get me to go out here and make me a saw. Terrible at this. Too busy worried about our jobs. Can't do my job. Them jobs don't love you. I bet you think the people at your job love you. Think your job loves you? Think your job loves you? My job loves me, man. No, they don't. They love what you can do for them. Your family loves you. Your brothers and sisters. Your job don't love you. They don't love you. Lisa's ass. She don't love you. Everybody got a Lisa at the job. Tell me I'm wrong. I bet you know somebody named Lisa at your job. Everybody got a Lisa or a Mary. Bet you got a Lisa at your job. Bet you do. Lisa's ass. Lisa don't like none of y'all. She just act like she do. Catch her on the right day, she might tell you, I don't like none of y'all. You catch Lisa on the right day, she just might be honest with you. Hey, Lisa, hey, let me ask you something. We cool, right? We're working together for 5 years. Wait, she might go, I'm gonna just tell you the truth. I'm gonna just tell you the truth because today I'm just not about it. I don't really like you. I never did. And she'll walk off. You're like, thanks, Lisa. She'll be like, no problem. Now get out of my face. Gotta thank Lisa for that. Lisa don't like nobody. Especially you. I bet you think your boss likes you. Your boss don't like you. None of your bosses like you. You don't believe me? Call off sick. Call off sick and see what happens. See how much your boss likes you. They're going to be like, oh, that's okay. You got what? Yeah, okay, cool. Might call you back and say, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and take a mini vacation? So here's what we're going to do, right? Because this is an at-will state. So this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take you off the schedule just for now. Just for now. We're just going to take you off the schedule. Don't worry about it. We might put you back on the schedule. But for now, we're going to go ahead and fill your space with somebody younger than you. Then we're going to give them a raise. But don't even worry about that part. Just go ahead. Your boss don't like you. I don't care if you're screwing your boss, which some of you are. Boss don't like you. Boss doesn't like you. You know what your boss likes? The bottom line. That's what your boss likes. And if you come in between your boss and the bottom line, he, she, they, it, whoever they are now, will fire you. Sometime without a warning. Without a warning. You're like, damn, James, how you just gonna listen, Mike, listen. Love you, love Susan, love the kids. But this is what we're gonna do. No, listen. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna hang up now. Bye. You came in between him and his bottom line. Can't come between the boss and the bottom line. Not gonna happen. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yo, I thought we was cool. We was never cool. You know my kids, you know my wife. I invited you to my house for dinner. The dinner was great. Thanks. But the bottom line is, yeah. The bottom line, Mike. I gotta move some people around. Don't even worry about it. Listen, next month, I'm not gonna problem? Damn, you ain't right. You ain't right. You gonna give somebody else my job? It was never your job. It's not your job. That's not your job. That's their job. That's their job to do what they want with it. That's not your job. You don't own that company. You do not own that company. Damn! I'm gonna go feed my kids. It's not my problem. Damn, you ain't right. Yeah, I don't care. Damn! You ain't right. Damn! How you just go find it? Because I can. I'm gonna do it because I can. I'll even tell you nothing. Damn, you ain't right. My position. You never had a position. You never did. You never have a position. You have a position. That was my desk. Buster freestyle. Let me get my microphone. I don't know how to rap. I just like to make the beats. Gotta give it to him. Just a little, little something. Your boss don't like you. The secretary don't like you. The owner don't like you. None of them like you. They don't like you. It's a shame. That's a shame. You guys are, convinced they like you. They don't like you. People who like you want to be around you even though you do nothing for them. They don't ask you to do anything. They just want to be around you. This is why your boss doesn't like you. Because in order to be around them, you have to do something for them. It's a cruel fact. But it's a fact nonetheless. But they'll lie to you. They'll say they like you. They don't. You see, you guys don't pay me to do this. I come on here, I talk to random people, and I talk about whatever they want to talk about. I look up information, I give you information. I do this because I like you. You know how much money I make on YouTube? I'm going to tell you, about $120 a year. A year. That's how much I make. About $120 a year. A year. A calendar year. And I've been on YouTube for a long time. I don't ask you guys for money. I'm on here because I like to be here. It's a way for me to, get out one of my idiosyncrasies, which is knowledge. I like to talk about a lot of different stuff that I can't randomly talk to somebody on the street about. They don't want to hear it. But I come on here, I pick a topic, you guys stop by, and you're here for hours. Why? Because you enjoy the company. You guys got stuff to do. But you're like, I'm going to listen to this guy, and I'm going to talk to this guy about this subject. Why? Because nobody else wants to talk to me about it. Go up to somebody and start talking to them about the red. See how long that conversation lasts. About 5 minutes tops. Why? Because the attention span of the average person is 7 minutes. Why? Because of television commercials. The average television commercial comes on in about 7.5 minutes into the show. Don't believe I'm lying? Look it up. This is why people have very short conversations. Because of the attention span. It's the truth. I'm always going to tell you the truth. It's a song in there. EDC. I'm always going to tell you guys the truth. You're my guys. I enjoy talking to you guys. You guys are like, you guys come by and talk to me. I'm like, my guys. Excuse you. You guys are my guys. 120. I really don't want to go this high, but they're my guys. Who else is gonna talk to me about random stuff? The most random stuff in the world. Here's the thing. Is that 120? No, it's not. And it's echoing way too much. I tried. You guys are my guys. I can talk about almost any subject in ad nauseum. You know how hard it is to get that out? It's supposed to be a guitar, isn't it? Nylon guitar. Let's hear it in a minor. See if we can find it. Oh, I almost had it. Almost had a nice little boom, 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 boom. Only one person's here anyway. Who's here? Only one person's here. Who's here? What do you want to talk about? I'm here for you. What do you want to talk about? Me and you. What do you want to talk about? You pick a subject, we'll talk about it. See, sometimes I. What gonna do this. What do you want to talk about? Me and you. Nobody else. Almost like that. Me and you, what do you want to talk about? Pick a subject. Let's talk about it. I don't like any of those. Pick a subject. And you. Birds in the bees, the apples in the trees, skies in the skies in the sea. Who is he? You know, I told you I can't rap. Okay, I'll see you. You mean? No. Nice though. My bases ain't basing. I know why. Because of this. Oh, wait a minute. Go back. Cut this. You can do that. Bam, bam. You do that. Now back to the bass. Find me a bass. Ooh, it's gonna be tough. I don't know who's here, nobody's talking to me, but it's okay, you're listening. I think that's it. I'm gonna try a little lower. Almost. Ouch, damn it, boy. Let's try this. Almost a bell. Ain't happy with none of y'all. It's not doing what I wanted to. Not happy. Take that up and down, up and down. Don't like that one. I like none of these. Don't like it. How do you make beats? The DOS I use is Logic. But do you mean like what technique? Like what goes into and then comes out. I mean, like, what do you mean? Like, I'm upset because I really wanted this one. It sounds so basic though. It sounds like it could be so good. It's missing some. I really enjoy the. What do I use? Logic Pro X. A derivative of GarageBand. What do you use? What do you use, my friend? My friend, what do you use? I need more sounds. I need to update my sounds. Oh, my leg is hurting. Yeah, I need more updated sounds as well. You thought of what? Why don't you make music? You know, hey, let me tell you something. I've been making music since I was 14. And I'm telling you something. I put some music out in 2009, and people are listening to it in other countries. I put out a song called Slow, and it's just an instrumental. And Middle Easterners really love it. I have no idea why. It's probably because of the piano. Let me see if I can pull it up. Pull it up on my SoundCloud. Make music, man. Make music, copyright it. Sometimes people pay me. They'll pay me $100 for a track. Make music, dude. You know, they'll say, hey, can I? I'll be like, yeah, you sure can. Let's see if I can pull up Slow. Always be making music. Because now somebody is going to use it on TikTok or something, and you'll get a couple pennies for it. I get a few pennies every now and then. Yeah, I get people to download it, download my stuff. They're like, I like it. I'm like, you like it? They're like, I like it. See, I'm on TikTok. It's my little jam on TikTok. I don't know if it's about to play, but right. Middle Easterns love it. Of course, it's just playing a snippet, but I made that, and people are listening to it and putting up their little commercials for it. I'm telling you, it's only a matter of time. And look, no, I come back and see more people using it. It's only a matter of time before this is going to go. It's only a matter of time before somebody's going to go, you know what? I like it. See if I can pull up. Been thinking of getting a PS2 and one and getting the MTV Beat Creator. I have a PS1 right over here somewhere. I didn't know you can make beats on PS1s. Beat Creator game and creating beats. Listen, do it. Do it for fun. You see what I do. I've been on here for 3 hours. You know, just creating, having a jam good time. Somebody will listen to that and be like, I like it, even though I'm about to erase it. You will be surprised who likes your stuff. Be like, wait, what? You guys like that? When I made that beat, bum, 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 I was just in my zone. Bum, 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 bang, bum. I'm trying to see if Google will play it. Play slow by tone. Sound for a slow ride. No, they keep bringing up something else on. All right. Let me see if I can do this. Please tone, ringtone. I don't have a ringtone, even though I should have a ringtone. All right, I'm not having any success. But I'm on it. Let's see something. Here's my Apple Music. Let's see if I can find. Oh. My song Put It in the Pot is on there. Mama in the kitchen going, put it in the pot. Mama good looking, going, put it in the pot. That's going to go viral. Gonna put it in the pot. I made that one night. Made that one night, one take, recorded it, copywrote it, got it out there. Dude, make music. Always be making music. Even if your stuff is sucking like mine does sometimes. Sometimes I make a fire beat, sometimes I make a sucky beat. But you know what? I just keep going. I find I just say, you know what? Here's how I do it. I go, you know what? I want a bass sound. Let me see if I can take a bass. I go down to about 90 something, 92 BPMs. And then I just toy around. Toy around my minors, descending scale, ascending. and I just listen to something grabs me. I go into my minors. I'm sorry, here's majors. Minors. And I listen to the bass line. See if I find something I like. This is too attractive. That's an attractive bass line. It's a little muddy, but it's nice. And I just go down playing around with them. Until I find one that I like. I skip through a bunch of them. Sometime I might try one out just to do it. So I got that right. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna go over here and just grab just a kit, a drum kit, and just sound one out. And see if I can get, just see if I can get something going. I like that right there. just trying to put something together to see if it works, right? See if it works. See if it works. Doesn't work, erase it, try something else. If it fails, it fails. Just throw stuff together and see what comes out. It works, cool. See? It's a nice mellow jam. That's it. That's it right there. Something chill. I mean, it can add a lot more to it, but I usually do about 6-7 tracks, and I just talk over it. You know what I mean? and easy.